A son itching for a trip down memory lane accidentally finds his dad's old Corvette on Facebook. But how it happened will surprise you, just as it did for a young man from Knox who brought it back home and sat down with Ibrahim Samra.
It was just 10 years ago when then 16-year-old Josh Hudgens of Knox, Indiana, sat in this very car.
Going to the soccer games, just cruising down country roads.
A burgundy 93 40th anniversary convertible Corvette owned by his dad.
Riding with Dad, we would go out to eat, stuff like that, and cruise around the back roads. Always going the speed limits, of course, but and I fell in love with the car ever since then.
However, Josh's dad later would struggle to find time to drive it, and instead of letting it sit, he sold it.
Like all Corvettes or older cars, especially in Northwest Indiana, they don't always get driven, and Dad decided to sell it. Mom and Dad decided to sell it.
10 years passed, and Josh is now 26, living in Argus. But no matter where he goes, his itch to get behind the wheel of his dad's old Corvette never goes away.
My wife and I, we enjoy cruising around. I have a Ford Focus, which isn't exactly the best cruising car. So I've had the itch to have something to cruise around with for a while, and I wanted something similar to what my dad had.
So Josh began looking, but little did he know there was one for sale just a few hours away.
So I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, and I seen one that looked just like his.
And as Josh began negotiating with the seller, he asked for the Vette's VIN number. What he discovered next,
you know, my hands were shaking as I'm looking at the papers.
A pleasant surprise.
The VIN number was the exact VIN number of the car that my dad sold 10 years ago, that I completely found on accident on Facebook, 10 years later.
An accident that turned into a sale Josh had to have, which is why he made a sharky offer.
It was tough to channel my inner Mark Cuban and negotiate at that point, but I had to have it.
And bought his dad's Vette back.
He's very happy that it's back in the family, and I think we believe back where it belongs.
And back on the road with him, just like old times.